Disappearing isn't about running away from your problems. It's about running away to the future. Remember, you got to do things that you've never done in order to have things that you've never had. Welcome back to another episode of Sweat Talk. My name is Chad. Disappearing, going monk mode, is understanding that the grass is always greener wherever it is that you water it. Whether it's your relationship or your inner self, sometimes you need to disappear in order to find out what has to happen, what needs to happen in order for you to progress in life, your relationships, whether it's your marriage, your intimate relationship, friends, families. Sometimes you just need to disappear. In order to grow with a relationship with, say, your spouse, you need to stay with that person and you need to grow together as much as possible. That person needs to become your best friend. You need to be able to confide in them, and they need to be able to confide in you. That's a two-way relationship. But disappearing and going monk mode is not talking about those relationships. It's talking about the relationships that have the potential to be toxic, or that may even be toxic and you don't know about it. It's the people that you consider your friends. And the only way to find out if they are your true friends is to disappear for a little while. They'll be there when you come back. When you disappear and you focus on yourself, you will realize that the only thing that's standing between you and great success and the life that you want is you. You'll realize what it is that you need to do deep inside of you and how to find yourself. Now, when you disappear, don't just disappear so that you can sit around your house and play video games. Disappear so that you can work on yourself, read books, alleviate all of the constant hits of dopamine. Stay away from all of the marketing that's constantly up in your face, that's designed for you to give them your dopamine, for you to dedicate your attention. Reality TV has been one of the worst things that's ever been created for our minds. What ends up happening with shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, or there's another one where they're in like New York or something like that. There's several of them, but they're all trash and they're all poison. There's a saying that you need to focus on the life that you want to have. But when you're watching these reality TV shows, you're focusing on somebody else's life and not the life that you want to have. You almost need to have some sort of an imposter syndrome. And I'm not saying to fake it till you make it, because I believe that that's bullshit. But you need to begin to live your life how you want to live your life. If you start to learn to live the life that you want, eventually you will believe it. But you're not faking it. When you go in monk mode and you just disappear from everything that you've ever known, it's going to allow you an opportunity to get away from all of the toxicity. It's going to allow you to exercise your mental muscles and find your mental muscles. Get out there and meditate. You need to be able to meditate about what it is that you want. I say this all the time, over and over and over, because you need to release your inner spirit. And you need to understand where you are is your fault. And it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. But you need to accept that reality. You need to accept the reality that there are terrible people in the world. No matter how much we want to deny it, there are terrible people in the world, and there's nothing that we can do about it. Sometimes the friends that we have are terrible people, and we don't even realize it. Or maybe we do realize it, but we've known them for so long that we feel obligated to keep them in our lives. When that's one of the worst things that we could possibly do. You'll realize that when you're hanging out with these people, you're putting on a persona. It's not a real you. You're trying to put on some sort of a persona so that people like you. It's not authentic. It's not genuine. And it's terrible for you. There is nothing that will show, I don't really even know how I can word this. There will be no better demonstration of confidence than being able to prove to people or to demonstrate to people that you are genuine. People will see through a persona. People will be able to see imposter syndrome. The loudest person in the room, the one that always has to have the attention, the one-upper. We all know a one-upper. Whether it's a coworker, a brother, a sister, a friend, that's irrelevant. But we all know a one-upper. Somebody that they have to be one up on top of you. They always have a bigger and badder story that's almost the same as yours. They're all full of shit. There's people, they're comparing themselves to you. They're putting on a personification, a persona, that they are as good as you. Sometimes that can be a good thing as far as building your own self-confidence, because when you see these people and you recognize it, you realize that that person's intimidated by you. Having people intimidated by you isn't necessarily a good thing. And some of these people, the one-uppers, they're just total losers. And they're not confident in themselves. But when you are in monk mode, you'll learn these things. When you focus on yourself, like I said, the grass is greener where you water it. So be careful where you water it, but make sure that you water it. If you hang out with people, if you have friends that when you go to give them good news, say you're excited because you accomplished something great, or something that you feel is great, something that is good that you've achieved. If your friends or you came up with an amazing idea, if your friends or your family or whoever it is, if all they talk about is the bad or the potential for things to go wrong, you don't need that. You don't need that in your life. If you're trying to build something great, you don't need that in your life. And you need to make sure that you can figure out who these people are, which ones they are, and put them out of your life, at least for a little while. We all have a family member or a friend who that's exactly what they do. Every single time we come up with a good idea, all they do is talk about the risks. Well, who gives a shit about the risks? Do it. You need to do it. You owe it to yourself to do it. Figure out the risks and go. Do it. There's risks to everything. Life is risky because life is so risky you will not make it out alive. Look at those risks and analyze those risks as they come up. There may be certain ones that you do need to look at beforehand, but for the most part, just do it. Just do it. And you'll figure out what the actual risks are. Because before you start something, you don't legitimately know what could possibly go wrong. You could sit there and plan it out and think, okay, well, this could go wrong or this could go wrong. But what that's going to do is it's going to give you analysis paralysis, and it's going to stop you from doing anything ever. Analysis paralysis it's a real thing. It kept me from creating a YouTube channel for a long time. Overanalyzing everything, overanalyzing how I was going to edit, what equipment I was going to use. It will ruin your potential for the future. That's why when I say you just do it, just do it. Figure out the risks later as they come up. When you're faced with a hard decision, face it. When you're in monk mode, it forces you to figure things out by yourself. It forces you to do the hard things by yourself. Your significant other needs to be your best friend. The rest of the people that you hang out with, that you call friends, they don't matter. My wife, Robin, is my best friend. 100%. There is no better friend in the world for me. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do the same thing in your relationship. That's all I got for today, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. I hope you're showing up for yourself. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.